Good evening. Welcome to Global Women Enrichment Podcast as we continue to celebrate Women Month. Tonight, I have the privilege to introduce to you Precile Lozama, who is a woman of God, a woman of faith, a mother, a grandmother. She's a friend, she's an entrepreneur, and she's here to tell us tonight about her journey in life and how she created and funded Women of Excellence. And then, Precile, tell us about yourself, tell us about your journey, and then bring us up to date.
Thank you, Ms. Paola, for having me tonight. It's such a privilege and an honor to be the guest of tonight. Yes, again, my name is Precile Lozama. Yes, I am a mother of 4 and a grandmother of 3. And of course, I am a woman of God, a servant of God, I would say. I was born in a Christian family. I am originally from Haiti. And also I'm a PK. If you know what PK means, it's preacher's kids. So that means there's a special announcing I would say, on me. And with that, I get to know God and get closer to God. But of course, I'm born in a Christian family, but we have a tendency of staying under the umbrella of our parents in the Christianity. But I always wanted to meet my God myself, know who He is and who He is in my life. And I really met God in 1997 when I had to go through a journey of life. As you know, everybody has a journey. And I met Him in 1997, and I was so happy that I met Him and knew who He is and knew who He is until now. Now, when I'm telling you about my God, I'm not going to say the God of my mom, the God of my dad. I'm going to say my God. And with my journey, with my experience, with my, I would say, my trials, and I always ask God, what I'm going through, please use it so I can be a help to other women. And I'm pretty sure every woman, I would say, we have something in us that can encourage other women. Even with our natural life, even with no trouble, no trial, we always have something that we can use to encourage women. Yes, through my trials, God has used me. I've asked Him to help other women. That's how I think when I was talking to Him, He kind of said, okay, I'm going to use you. But I didn't know how until one day when I was trying to change some of my lifestyle, I would say career, because, it was really hard. And I said, okay, let me go back to school and learn something else. And but not because I wanted to, just to add something new into my life so that can really help me to what I was going through. And one day, I was in a psychology class, and of course, the professor was talking about everything about life. Psychology is always like, about life. And, okay, and I look at myself, and I look at what I was wearing. It was nothing like I was dreaming of when I was a little girl, And then I said, okay, on my break time, I went to the car. I said, Lord, what am I doing here? I know school is really good. It's good to learn, but this is not what I was dreaming of. This is what I asked you for since I was a little girl. And then all of a sudden, it's just like, I said, what about my dream? It seems like, I put all my dreams in a drawer, and then this is not me. And I say, okay, why you put that into my mind right now? And all of a sudden, I just heard the voice saying, don't you know how many women that are in the same situation as you, that they get their dreams buried into a drawer? I say, okay, what do you want me to do about it? He says, okay, let's gather them. Let's gather them. And I say, okay, if I gather them, I'm not coming back to school. So I have to pursue my dream. He says, we'll see. So in the car within 1 hour of break, I got a piece of paper, and I started writing names of people that I know, women that I know, friends, customers, clients, just like write names. Let me identify. Okay. I just invite them. I say, okay, when am I going to do this? I said, let's do it in the month of May. No, I said, May is Mother's Day. I said, no, let me do it for my birthday. My birthday month was August. And this is something like, I think of, I'd say like 3 months before August. I don't remember exactly the month, but not that 6 months, frame time. So I called them and I explained. And I said, okay, now, what am I going to say? Let's gather in my backyard. We're going to have a conference. And then the title will be Women, Keep Your Dream Alive. Women, keep your dream alive. I say, Lord, I don't want to tell them about a story that I read somewhere or I heard somewhere. I want like somebody that really had a dream and then that kind of, and then she kind of realized it. I said, let me use somebody that can explain their story. Of course, I know so many women. One of my clients, and when you have clients, and I tell about my career the time, but anyway, one of my clients, when you're having clients regularly coming to you, it seems like, you become friends and family. We talk, so we know in a special period of time for 10 years, 15 years. So I kind of know people that can relate it to the theme that I chose. And I chose one person, professional, and I said, okay, how about your life? Is there any way you can explain to those women? And she said, okay. And the first year, I'm trying to kind of shorten the story because it's kind of broad. The first year with the theme Women, Keep Your Dream Alive, we had 80 women in the backyard. And it was so well explained, so well said, so well like the way she was explaining her life about how she got her dream kind of into the drawer, but by pursuing her dream, she got it realized. And during the year, through the year, I have women that participated into the conference calling me, say, thank you. I wanted to go to school. Now I have to tell you, I got my bachelor. Some other women, so many other stories. And me personally, I said, okay, I'm going to pursue my dream. I say, I'm going to quit this school for a minute, so let me just pursue to see, what I always wanted. And then the second year, he said, okay, now the first year was Women, Keep Your Dream Alive. And then the second year, I said, what are we going to talk about? And I said, well, how to realize that dream. And then, of course, get another person that had a dream and want to pursue her dream and had to sacrifice so many things to realize her dream. And so forth and so on. I don't want to keep on saying but for let's say the first year, women keep your dream alive. The second year, how to realize your dream, and the third year was the barriers that can I would say block you from realizing your dream. And after that, we how to nurture your dream and a lot of, so that's how Women of Excellence was founded. And for the last year, it was our 7th year, we had about 200 women gathering. Now, it was not in the backyard, of course, not in the backyard. We had to go to the venue. So, and then Miss Paola was a big help in helps planning every year Women of Excellence conference. The mission is to empower women, to encourage women. That's what it is. That's what I'm telling you. To encourage women and to help them to live according to their values and to define themselves. Don't let anybody, I heard you saying that. This is one of the mission statements. Don't let anybody define you. You are a woman of excellence. You know who you are. And you go according to your value. And ask God continually to use you and to enhance your knowledge about Him so you can help others spiritually to grow spiritually. That's Women of Excellence.
Awesome. Thank you, Precile. I've known Precile for 30 years, over 30 years. Our children grew up together. Mm-hmm. And she's, I'm going to reveal it a little bit. Mm-hmm. She's a cosmetologist by trade, okay? Mm-hmm. And she has been a wonderful person, wonderful friend. Women of Excellence has been there for how long?
For going on 8 years.
8 years now. Mm-hmm. And then it's huge, unfortunately, because of COVID. Mm-hmm. We weren't able to gather face-to-face, but she was able to do something virtually we had a few months ago.
Yeah, we can. It's on YouTube. It's Women of Excellence. 2020.
Yes. So do you have any question, ladies?
More like a comment. I was listening to you, and it is so interesting how you were talking about God. Wouldn't it be so awesome if everybody talked to God like that, like you're just talking to
Yes.
to your friend, because He is our friend.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say you tell God whatever you told God, that hey, what happened? This is what it is you are expecting from Him. Because God did tell us, if you ask, you shall receive.
Of course.
So it was just amazing just looking at you. I felt like you were secretly talking to God, even right there as you were telling us about the way you talk to God.
Exactly.
So that it was amazing to just sit and listen to your story. And I am so glad to see that your vision, Women of Excellence, aligned with Global Women Enrichment vision as well, which is basically to empower women and not let anyone define you. You're going to hear a lot of that being said.
Yes.
Because we refuse to let anyone define us.
No.
Okay, you are powerful women. Be encouraged, be empowered, and be enriched.
That's it. Yes.
Thank you. Well said.
You said, yes, sometimes we have to talk to God. We spend most of the time praying, but sometimes we need to talk to Him. He's our Father.
Yes.
Not all the time, Father, da, da, da. No. Father, listen to me. Not because He doesn't know, but sometimes I think He wants to hear the expression of our heart, not only how we feel. And then explain to Him how we would like to have it according to His will. But sometimes we have to state it really. That's why we know sometimes I talk to Him. Just like this morning, I talked to Him. We talk. And then after you finish talking, stay quiet for a little bit. Let Him talk back to you. He will answer you.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. You have to go beyond the rote prayer, I believe, and you have to go into conversation.
Right.
And it is only in conversation that you can really listen to what the answer is or not, right? So completely agree with you. So a question I have for you is, what recommendation do you have to our audience that's listening that is trying to figure out how to pull their dream out of a drawer? What would you recommend for them?
First of all, pray. Pray. You have to realize that you are in trouble. When I say trouble, mentally trouble, like undecided, you don't know what to do, but you know behind your mind you had something that you wanted all the time or to become all the time. So what would I say? Just pray. Pray God and ask God for His direction. And try to recall the dream that you always had and see the path that you are going through now, or how is it in alignment with your dream. You have to realize, you have to recognize that and talk to God about it, and then He will tell you what to do.
That's great.
Thank you so much, Precile. We'll continue that conversation off camera, and then we'll invite you again to come back to visit us for other things that she has in store for us. Thank you. And then we'll take a break right now. We'll continue soon. Thank you. Good evening and welcome again to part 2 of our podcast tonight. Tonight we have a special guest and a young lady, a beautiful young lady that I happen to know since she was in high school, Christina Francois. Christina wears several hats. So usually, like, you say we have different ages coming here, but it's good to have some youth and then fresh air here with us tonight. And Christina is executive director of ONA, its Office of New Americans, and then she also the founder of Black Collective. And then so much has been happening for the past year, and then this is really a good time and then moment as we celebrate Women Month to show how Christina, although young, of age, but I always call her Tigamun, which is an old lady, because the things that she have accomplished in her life. And then so tonight she's going to tell us about her growing up with her parents, and then touch a little bit about ONA, Office of New American, and then also especially Black Collective. We want to hear from you, Christina.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And it's true, I actually met Paola when I was in 8th grade. So time really flies, and she's been there for all of the iterations of my passions, I would say. So I am a first-generation American. My parents are Haitian, and I always come back to that in my purpose of why I'm so passionate about the work that I do, both professionally and volunteering. And so I am one of the many New York transplants to Miami, and I also spent some time living in Haiti. And so I think having traveled a lot and having moved and lived in different places, it's developed my empathy for people, and always looking for a place of connection and to understand the world around me. And so when we think of ways to get involved with social change and really social impact, it has to be rooted. You have to have a really strong why. And so I think my personal life experience, living in the U.S. and outside of the U.S. With immigrant parents has definitely connected me to working in the immigration space and in the advocacy space.
Continue.
Should I talk about it?
Yes.
Okay. I was like,
Tell us more.
So with my work hat on, I run the Office of New Americans, which is focused on helping immigrants in our county overcome any barriers to being full active citizens. So one part is the legal process. So we organize free legal services and citizenship classes, and really try to connect folks with anything that they need in the community. Because when you arrive in a new place, you don't really have the networks, the relationships to understand how to navigate your new home. And in my free time, like I joke that my free time, it doesn't really exist. It's not.
We don't have free time.
I co-founded the Black Collective with a few of my friends, who are all Black millennials, really from different backgrounds, so Afro-Dominican to African-American, Bahamian, and we know that there are structural challenges for Black people in Miami-Dade County and in the state of Florida and larger. And we had started before the racial reckoning of 2020, but we really got to maximize the conversations that were happening around race and justice and in institutional and structural racism and bias to push the needle forward, to see that there is a place for people to come if they do want a political home, if they do want help understanding how government works and concretely understanding what policy is and what your role is and how democracy works and voting. And then from there, we really are creating the space and seeing what issues we're going to bring up next, now that it's not an election year.
Not yet, but you have to prepare for it.
I know, and another one's coming. You know.
Yes, exactly. Okay, Christina, one thing, I know I'm going to turn it over to the ladies if they have questions, of course, but one thing I want to ask you, I know I'm a board member of ONA, but at the same time, when do you switch your heart to know this is volunteer work, this is work that pay your bills and stuff? So how do you do that, and then when do you switch off?
Yeah, so I think so one thing for me is I think everything is interconnected. So I'm never off the clock for ONA, and I'm never not on the clock for Black Collective, I would say, because we live intersectional and interconnected lives. But I will say, if you are looking to be involved in something, time management is super important. So I like to say that there are 2 days a week that I do external meetings. So my Tuesdays and Thursdays are normally back-to-back meetings from 10 a.m. to like 8 p.m. So I know my board meetings are on those days. I know if I need to go in front of the commission or if I need to meet with a consultant or something, that those happen on those days, so that then with the other days of the week, I have the time to write and read and do the internal things that I need to do for my organization. And the weekends, I say, have at least one day where you don't do anything. So I don't have full weekends, but I know that at least one day out of the 7, I'm not doing anything volunteer or work related.
Christina, you're so full of energy. I'm glad to see that you're very hyperactive, like someone around this table. I'm not going to call anyone's name, but I'm so glad that there are people like you out there. And I have a question for you. You mentioned something about the work that you're doing with immigration. Yes. And I know immigration is a sore subject for this country, with kids being separated from their parents and all that, and not even knowing where the kids are now or where the parents are, how to connect. What are the challenges or roadblocks you have faced in what you are trying to do for immigration and the millennials and all that stuff? What are your challenges that you have faced?
Yeah, I think that immigration is complicated. It's the second most complicated area of our legal system after the tax code. It changes really frequently, and people who are immigrants or are the children of immigrants don't really talk about the process. So what ends up happening is changes are happening. People may be eligible for things. People may, be put in removal proceedings or something like that, and there's not really social consciousness around the issue. So they feel a little bit ashamed to bring up what they're struggling with. So we've been trying to shift the narrative around it's okay to talk about your immigration status. It's okay to talk about your immigration journey because you have wisdom and lessons to share, and the only way for us to be able to fix the things that are wrong and hold elected officials accountable and there's a lot of people who take advantage of immigrants in terms of charging them for services and then not providing them. The only way we can stop that is if we talk about it, right? And to not be ashamed or embarrassed or any self-conscious about it.
So you started the Black Collective. What recommendation do you have to other millennials that have a passion for something and they're trying to figure out how to get started?
So the first thing that I learned is that I guarantee you somebody is working on the issue that you care about. You are not the first person to realize there is a structural problem, but your solutions may be what's unique. So I say to do your research, ask for help. If you see that somebody is working in the area of, let's say, homelessness or like food insecurity or anything like that, reach out to them and see what programming they're doing. And then if you can't volunteer with them directly, at least you have some feedback on like what is and isn't working that they're already doing to put your own spin on your solutions. And mentorship is really, really important. So people generally think, and especially like millennials and Gen Z, like we think, oh, I'm like a mentor is somebody who has to be, 40 years older than me and have it accomplish all of these things, when actually it's just people who have gone through the process of trial and error. I like to say we all have our own wisdom and lived experience, and so having a thought partner who you can bounce ideas off of and get feedback to help you think, to see your blind spots, and then it's also a mutual relationship. Yeah. So I'm really big on mentorship.
That's great. And for our audience that's listening, if they wanted to get some immigration help, how would they contact where you work or contact you?
So you can follow me on Twitter. It's Krys Francois. And you can also go to Office of New Americans with an S.org. That's our website. We have a bunch of volunteer opportunities. We also have a bunch of events coming up this month and ongoing. We have at least one legal service clinic a month. So to give you time to prepare for your things before the next one. So always check our calendar. And we're on all the social media pages. So if you literally Google Office of New Americans, luckily we're the first. I don't know how this happened, but we're the first result. So
that's great.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
As a result of your good work.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening, for watching us tonight. And this will close our session for today. We had the lovely Precile Lozama, President of Women of Excellence. And then we end this evening with Christina Farso, co-founder of Black Collective and also Executive Director of the Office of New American. Thank you for having us tonight. Thank you for watching, and good night.